Hey friends, it is shop update week this week. Woo, woo, woo. So I'm going to take you along as I finish getting ready for my shop update. A lot of admin stuff, a little bit of art making. Come along and I'll show you what I need to do in those last 5 days before my shop updates. What I'm doing right now is I'm doing some things that are not necessarily, you don't have to do them. So I have to measure them. There's a couple of artworks, I'm not sure their size. A lot of them are A3, A4, things like that. So they're standard sizing, A5. So I don't need to worry about measuring them. But I am doing something I've never really done before, but for my originals, I've got these artworks and I'm actually just writing on the back the title I've given them, and the month and year that I made them. And then just a little autograph on the back. Just in lead pencil, that's more just also so I know, like if I'm on my phone and I can't see the artwork, but I've just got the name, if someone's purchased one, I can go, okay, well this one I've called, I don't remember what I called it. I can't remember what I called it. So I've got it all. I've got them on my phone now. So I'm going to write the name of this one. But like the one I just did was I've named Rosa. So I've written Rosa, mixed media, painting, drawing, put my name, the date, and my autograph. So that's what I'm currently doing right now. I need to edition my prints. That's also coming up. Just trying to think what else I need to do. I need to take photos of a couple of different artworks, put these into my drawers so they don't get damaged while they're out and about. And then I think we might do some little artworks. I've got lots of big ones ready to roll. I want to make sure in this shop update I've got actually ones that are quite small, artworks that are quite small, so that I can do them for a lower price point. So yeah, so I've got a few here that I need to photograph of A5, so I'll do a few more A5 ones I think, but then I'm actually thinking even A6 and maybe even A7. So like if you've only got $10, $20 spare, you could still jump on and get a little bit of original art. Nice. I've got a reduction print that is going up. It's pretty exciting. I'll show you some of the works as I go. So this one I'm about to do is Claire. I've done this whole series of these ugly art, blind contour drawing. There's birds, horses. I've got a koala, fish. That's the kind of focus for it. So I've done the outlining in oil pastels or Neocolor ones. And then I've filled them in using gouache, because I'm a little bit in love with gouache at the moment. So that's what I've been doing. That's what these series of artworks here are. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep writing on them. Join me. Had to get a chair, my back started hurting. So anyway, cool, let's keep going. Put my headphones on, listen to my podcast while I'm doing it. Woo! One thing I forgot to add, my shop update's Friday, March 28th, 2025. At 8 p.m. I will have my shop linked in my description of the video, so if you want to have a look, go for it. There's still artworks available from my last shop update, but if you ever want to know what's happening, get regular updates, you want to sign up to my newsletter. So jump over to my website, click on where it says sign up or subscribe, I can't remember which one I've said, and pop your details in and you get some pretty regular emails from me. Woo! Don't forget to like and subscribe this video, FYI. I'd look back at my face while I'm finishing taking off my tabs. So my process for editioning my prints, especially a limited edition print. So my chicken with no color, so just the outline, is actually an open-ended print. So that means that I could potentially make thousands. It doesn't really matter. It's an open-ended print. The only issue with that, sorry guys, it's very hot in my shed. I'm sweating up a storm here. The only issue with doing an open edition print is that they are not, you can't put such a high price point on it. But for me, that doesn't really bother me too much. Whereas my reduction print chicken, because this will never happen again, I have a very limited print run of it. So the first thing I do is I prep them. I was originally going to, as I take these tabs off, check the quality. I try to make sure they're all pretty good quality. Sometimes they've got little marks here and there that doesn't really affect the print, and when you frame it, I think they'll be covered anyway. So but generally speaking, I try to make sure all my prints are of a really high standard first. So I go through and check. Depending on what it is, like this chicken took me a really long time. So if I had a couple that were not quite perfect, I might do like 3 or 4 B grade ones. But like I said, I was meant to be checking as I took the tabs off, but I completely forgot. So I'm going to do that afterwards. Then what I do is I number them. So at this point, I haven't actually counted how many of each of the print I've got. I just know that this is my pile of good quality ones. Because again, I lose count, I forget, and I was like, So I literally write the numbers on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't do the of yet until I've numbered them all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I get to number 15 and that's my last one, then I know that I need to go back and add of 15. I don't know. It's just, it works well for me because I sometimes forget, and then I get to the end and I've been writing of 15 and I'm like, oh no, I've got 16. So then I've got to go back through and change them all, which sometimes isn't, it's not a good idea to change them. Well, I don't know. I think it looks a bit dodgy if I've had to rub it out and try to rewrite it. So that's why I just number them 1, 2, 3. And I'll show you that in a sec. So I'm just going through and I'm checking. There's a slight lining up issue there, but I don't actually think it affects the print. I think you can only see it there. I think that's fine. This one I put in the dodgy pile because you can see it's quite smudged. So that one goes in the dodgy. I'm not too sure what I'll do with the dodgy. I'm going to keep them. I usually keep them and send them as thank you prints. So like I actually write just big thank you at the bottom. Sometimes I'll write a little message on the back when people send in orders. So looking at these, most of these are pretty good. I don't worry about a little tiny mark like that. Again, when you frame it, I think it's usually covered. These are all pretty good. I think I've done well here. There was 1 or 2 that lined up really poorly, but I think I've already tossed them. Yes, I nearly missed it. But see this one, see the darker orange is completely lined up wrong. So again, that's going to go on my dodgy pile. Yeah, so that's all of them. So now all I'm going to do is at the bottom here, I'm literally just going to write 1. And this is just a H pencil. So it's a really light pencil because I press a little bit too hard too. And I'm just going to number them. awesome. So now I've gotten to the last one. I've got 22 here. So I can write out of 22 on each of them. So of 22. And then I called this one Sue. So I'm actually going to write that here. Sue reduction. I'm going to write Sue dash orange. So that, because there's a couple of different Sues. Like this one will be Sue black. And then I just write my name and then I put the year in there as well. So Sue orange, C Mace. Oh, there's room there. I'll write it there. 2025. So you can see it's really quite light at the bottom. So I don't try not to do it too hard, which is why I use the H pencil. So yeah, and then I can keep going. So I thought I'd just show you some of the artworks that I'm going to have available on my website. There's kind of one main print that's going to be up there, and that's my chicken. You probably just saw me editioning these. So this black one is going to be an open-ended one. I've actually only got about 6 of them. And the only reason I printed them was because I had leftover black when I was doing the final one. So I thought I might as well use it up instead of wasting it, and make some regular black ones. Because I've got black ink, so I can just make some new ones. So that's kind of, that's going to be up there. I don't know how much, I can't remember. And this is the reduction print one. So I got my original template for this one, printed it. Oh, there's a whole video on it. I'll tag it in here. I'll put a little card or something up there. So this is the reduction print. So there is only 22 of these. And once they're gone, they're gone. That's it. I originally thought to myself that I would do other colors, but I haven't felt the need to. I haven't felt the, not the need, I haven't felt the urge to make any other color combos. So I'm thinking the next time I do this, it'll be a different print and I'll just use a different color combo then and see what I like, kind of thing, you know what I mean? So those are the 2 new prints that are going up. There was a couple of little cockatiel prints that I made, little mini prints out of blind contour drawings. So again, there's another YouTube video on me making them. I'll put them up here now if you want to have a little look. See? And I loved making them and I love them, and I will make, they're going to be an open edition print as well, so they're going to be fairly inexpensive. I just couldn't get a really good quality print, and I've just gotten myself a new printing press for smaller prints, so I'm going to have another go. So they will end up being in the next shop update, and I'll try to have a couple of different colors and things like that. So for this shop update, that's the only print. And then kind of the main things are gonna be my drawings and paintings in this shop update. So I started doing the blind contour for the ugly art, and I just started thinking, how can I add color? And so I started creating these artworks with the oil pastel blind contour, where I colored it in with gouache. And like I said, I'm a bit obsessed with gouache at the moment. I probably won't use gouache for my larger ones now. It was just that I had a really big white by Schmincare, which I actually didn't like. I still have some of the bottle left. So I was just trying to use it up. So like for the backgrounds and stuff, they're super light colors. I wanted to use up that one white and I am not a big fan of it. It's not very, it doesn't reactivate very well at all. So I wanted to make little gouache colors pre-made up so that when I go camping and traveling and stuff, I've got them ready to roll, and I can use just a water brush and I can do some gouache painting. That was the idea. So I've actually wasted a heap of paint because I mixed up all these colors using this white, and for some reason they don't activate, they do not reactivate. And now I've looked on the bottle, I'm like, have I accidentally grabbed an acrylic gouache? No, it is literally their big gouache, and I can't see anywhere it should reactivate, and it's not. So so I actually got some Winsor & Newton white, lashed out a little bit, and it's amazing. It reactivates so beautifully. Best purchase of my life. Yeah, I went there. So yeah, so I first of all started with fish. I don't know why, I just thought, why not fish? So I've got a couple of smaller ones. These are just the two that I grabbed. I think there's at least one other one. I don't know where I put it, but anyway. So these two here, and they're kind of a very similar color palette. They're in A3. I then got this bad boy in A2. I really love this. This is a goldfish. I love the color palette on these ones. It's really nice. And then I did this super big one. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen these. But this one, with just multiple fish on a big piece of paper. I love that one. That one's got to be my absolute all-time favorite one that's going to be available. So if you manage to get your hands on the hot little handies on them, lucky you. Now I tried to then replicate it with birds because I loved my fish ones so much. So I thought, all right, we'll do another big one of my birds. I don't like it. I actually am not entirely sure if I'll even make these ones available, this one. It's just three birds that I've coloured in a background. There's no cohesiveness, whereas the fish, it looks like they're all swimming in the water. So I'm kind of like, they should have maybe been on all one branch. I don't know. So I just don't know. And the yellow one, I'm not a big fan of the yellow one. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this one. It may or may not be available. Just to throw a spanner in the works. Just to muddle you up. Here are just two of the birds. So I did a cockatiel. This one is a rainbow lorikeet. Oh no, rosella. I think it is actually a lorikeet, but I've written rosella on the back. So here's the rosella now. These are two of the birds. There's a couple of other ones that are going to be available. Then I was like, oh, I love how these are going. I'm gonna start doing some other animals. So I had a friend of mine who asked if I could do some horses, and I was like, yeah, cool. I've been meaning to do some horses. So I did so many horses. Oh, I did this bird too. That will be up too. That's a cockatiel as well. I love it. It's on like this vintage stamp paper. I'm not sure if it'll even sell. I just wanted to try some different things to see what happens. So yeah, my horses. So I've actually got, what's that, 5 A3 horses. So one, that looks more like a pony. It wasn't in the photo bit. And I tried to experiment with some different other color palettes. I've been trying to try that out. So yeah, these will all be available. These are all the A3 ones, and that one there, that one's my favorite. I like it, I like it a lot. I then just did just the one big horse. So instead of doing multiple horses, he's just one single horse on that one. Like him too. The color, I really like the color palette on these. And it's just like a mint in the background. Yeah, and here's a koala. That I did the same way. I've got a heap of little ones, like I said. So here are some A5 ones that I'm going to have available. There's going to be more. This is just the tip of the iceberg, what I'm showing you here right now. So we're going to literally now, you're going to join me while I make some more on this craft paper that I'm in the process of ripping up. I'm going to do them on craft paper. It's quite lightweight craft paper, so I'm going to use my gouache on it. I'm going to do it the same way I've done the other ones, just maybe some different colour palettes. I don't know, we'll see, we'll see. I'm going to cut these down smaller, that's what I started doing it. I'm going to tear them a bit smaller so that they're more inexpensive. And I've got some other white paper in there that I've already torn down. I might even, I think I'm just going to get crack-a-lackin'. It's very hot. So I might put some music to this and put the aircon on. I'm hot. I'm struggling with this heat at the moment. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Cool bananas. Let's do some more artworks.